One experiment with real judges. They were given case files, and before sentencing, they were asked to roll dice. The dice were rigged. Half of them rolled a high number. The other half rolled a low one. After that, the judges decided the sentence. The ones who rolled higher gave sentences 32% longer for the exact same crime. A random number from a table shifted someone's life by years, and the judges were sure they were deciding based on the case. This works on you every day, not with dice, but with thousands of small signals. They are called cognitive biases. They are built-in errors in your brain that you never notice. Because of them, you lose money. You buy things you don't need. You stay in projects that died long ago. You don't leave places that hurt you. And you are sure you are choosing yourself. Today we break down 6 of them. For each one, what it is, which experiment proved it, and what to do about it. Bias number 1. Confirmation bias. The brain looks for what confirms your opinion and ignores what disproves it. In 1960, a psychologist ran a simple test. Participants were told, I have a rule for 3 numbers. Guess it. The first clue is 2, 4, 6. People started testing their guesses. 8, 10, 12. The psychologist said yes, that fits. 20, 22, 24. Yes, that fits. They confidently announced, the rule is even numbers going up by 2. And almost everyone was wrong. The rule was any 3 numbers going up. Between 80 and 90% of people never even tried to test a sequence that could disprove their guess. They only tested what confirmed it. That is how the brain works every day. You think your boss doesn't like you, and you start noticing every cold look. There are plenty of good moments around, but the brain filters them out. They don't confirm the theory, so they are not interesting. In the news, it works even harder. The algorithm sees what you like and feeds you more of the same. After a month, you live in a world where everyone agrees with you, and you are sure it is the objective picture. How to protect yourself. Before any important decision, ask yourself one question. What would have to happen for me to know I am wrong? If you have no answer, you are not thinking. You are confirming. Bias number 2. Availability, heuristic. The brain decides something is common if it is easy to remember. In 1973, Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky ran an experiment. They asked people, are there more English words that start with the letter K, or words that have K as the 3rd letter? Most said, words starting with K. They could recall a few, and decided there were many. Actually, there are about twice as many words with K in the 3rd position. They are just harder to remember. The brain swapped the question. Instead of measuring frequency, it measured how easy something comes to mind. This turns into fear of rare things. After every news story about a plane crash, people start being afraid to fly. Even though a plane is the safest transport, your chances of being killed by a falling airplane part are about 30 times higher than by a shark. But people make movies about sharks and write headlines about them, not about airplane parts. The brain sees that sharks are easier to recall and marks them dangerous. The same way you overrate rare risks and ignore everyday ones. You fear terrorists, but don't buckle your seatbelt. You fear robbery, but eat sugar every day, which kills slowly and without headlines. How to protect yourself. When you fear or want something, ask, is this because I heard about it recently, or because it really happens often? Look up the numbers, not images. Numbers. Bias number 3. Sunk cost fallacy. The more you have put into something, the harder it is to drop it, even if it is sinking you. In 1985, 2 American psychologists, Hal Arks and Catherine Bloomer, ran an experiment. Participants got a scenario. You have invested $100 million in a stealth plane. The work is almost done, but a competitor has already released a better plane. What do? Spend another $1 million to finish, or stop the project? 85% said, finish it. We are already almost all in. In a second scenario, no money had been spent yet. There was just the choice. Should you put money into this plane now, knowing the competitor already has a better one? Only 10% said yes. Same project, same future. The only difference was that in the first case, money had already been spent, and the brain refused to let it go. The same researchers sold season tickets at a campus theater, half at full price, half at a discount. A few months later, they counted how many shows each group attended. People who paid full price went to more than 4 shows. People who paid less went to a bit more than 3. Same shows, same seats, but the money already spent pulled them into the hall. The same way you sit through a boring movie because you paid for the ticket. You stay in a job that has hurt you for years because you gave it 5 years. You don't exit an investment that is falling because you already lost half. How to protect yourself. Before any decision, ask, if I had just learned about this and put nothing in yet, would I get in? If no, that is the signal to leave. Past investments never come back. They do not exist for the future decision. Bias number 4. Anchoring effect. The first number you see sets the reference point, and it affects everything you decide after. Kahneman and Tversky spun a roulette wheel in front of participants. The wheel had numbers from 0 to 100, but it was rigged. Half got a 10. The other half got a 65. After that, people were asked, what percent of African countries are members of the United Nations? Those who saw 10 answered on average 25%. Those who saw 65 answered 45%. The roulette wheel had nothing to do with Africa. Everyone understood that. And still they tuned their answer to the random number. This works in stores. When you see a jacket for 30,000 next to one for 10, 10 feels cheap. Even though it is not cheap on its own. The 30,000 one is the anchor. It was placed there to sell the 10,000 one. This works in negotiations. Whoever names the first number wins. If the employer says, we pay 100,000, you will bargain up from 100. If you name 200 first, they will bargain down from 200. This works with judges. The dice from the start of this video, that is the anchoring experiment. A random number with no link to the case. And the sentence shifted by a third. How to protect yourself. Before any negotiation or purchase, fix your own number first. Before you hear theirs. And hold it. If their offer is too far from yours, walk away. Bias number 5. Hindsight bias. After something happens, it feels like you knew it would, even though you actually didn't. In 1975, American psychologist Baruch Fishoff ran this experiment. Before President Nixon flew to China, he asked students to rate the probability of different outcomes of the trip. Will they sign a treaty? Will Nixon meet Mao? Will they open an embassy? Then Nixon flew. Some events happened. Some didn't. Fishoff brought the students back and asked them to recall what probabilities they had given before the trip. They all massively shifted their memory. The events that happened, they remembered as if they had always thought they were likely. The events that didn't, as if they had thought them unlikely. They rewrote their own memory to match the result. And they were sure that is what they had thought all along. This is what the brain does after every news story. The 2008 crisis. Afterward, everyone said, it was obvious, the bubble was inflating. Before 2008, almost no one said that. After an election, everyone says, it was clear she would win. Before, it was 50-50. This hurts you personally. When a friend fails a project, it feels like it was visible from the start, and you blame him for something nobody could have predicted. When you yourself mess up, it feels like you should have known, and you beat yourself up for the unavoidable. How to protect yourself. Keep a prediction journal. Before any important event, write down what you think will happen and how sure you are. Read it back a month later. It is the cure for the illusion that you always knew. Bias number 6. Dunning-Kruger effect. The less you know about a topic, the more sure you are that you know it well. In 1909, two psychologists from Cornell University, David Dunning and Justin Kruger, tested this in an experiment. Students were given tests on logic, grammar, and sense of humor, then asked to rate how they had done. The weakest, the ones who actually scored in the bottom 12%, rated themselves on average at the 62% level. That is, above half the group, 50 points above reality. Those who did the best, on the other hand, rated themselves lower than they actually were. They understood how hard the topic is, and they saw how much they still didn't know. This is the most painful bias. To realize you are weak in something, you need the same knowledge you don't have. Ignorance hides itself. It works in any field. You read 2 articles about investing and start teaching others. Watch 3 videos on psychology, and you are diagnosing your friends. Read 1 book on business, and you are sure you know how to run any company. Meanwhile, the real expert says, I know very little about this. And you think he is being modest. Actually, he sees the limits of his knowledge. How to protect yourself. Before you state a strong opinion in an unfamiliar field, ask yourself one question. What do I still not know about this topic? If you have an answer, that is knowledge. If you have no answer, that is confidence out of emptiness. The fewer doubts you have, the more likely you are at the bottom of that curve. 6 biases is not even the tip of the iceberg. Scientists have described more than 200 such brain errors. They cannot be turned off. They cannot be trained down to 0, but they can be noticed. Every time something inside you says, I am sure, it is obvious, of course it is so, that is the signal. One of these biases just kicked in. Worth checking yourself. This channel covers methods that actually work, backed by research. Subscribe if you want to make cleaner decisions and see your traps before they cost you.